Morning all, Stile day again. I'm up there on my own this morning, just doing a little bit of, well, I'm trying to get the footings in for the little bit of wall I'm going to build around it. But before we go to the Stile, I thought I'd show you my other little project which I've just bought, which I wasn't planning to buy, but I've just purchased for to go with the Fergie. Look at this. This is a little transport box which I bought off Facebook Marketplace. If I can show you, it's got a removable front here. This is on hinges. I just put this new bar on here. In fact, look, here's the picture. Here's it was on Facebook Marketplace what it looked like when I got it. So that popped up as a suggestion, and I wasn't actually looking for a transport box at the time, but I thought take the opportunity because this is a lovely little dinky one. Most of the transport boxes you find are quite big. This was a very nice little small thing. I've got a feeling it's farmer made. Someone else said to me earlier, this looks like this could have been a water trough. There's the top of the water trough, old water trough mine. I think originally it probably just went along there and was another corner like that there. And someone's taken a grinder, cut it down. Farmers are very good. They're very ingenious actually at making stuff. They're good at anything, bodge it and fix it, but this is done quite well. It's quite professionally made. You know, there's a nice sort of little edge turn there and everything. There's a bit of not RSJ, angle iron put on there. These, I've got to do a little bit of work. These are a bit knackered. Put a new bar in there, like I said, 'cause that was bent. That is from, that's the opening handle on the milking parlour. That's a spare bit of steel from that. So that in itself, that bit of steel is 50 years old. God knows how old this is. But it's been well made. Someone's done a nice little job on it. Got the A-frame on the back, so I can just put that on the links of the 35. And as you probably saw in the ad there, it was 100 quid, including delivery. The bloke bought it down because I didn't have a way of getting it. So what my plan is, I'm going to paint that grey. It's already been painted once already, with some sort of, I think it's a sort of red undercoat, and then there's a grey silvery top coat. But because it's galvanised, it hasn't stuck very well, and it's come off. But I'm going to paint that Fergie grey, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little funky farmer sticker made up, I think, to put along the back in the same sort of italics maybe as the old Ferguson lettering. So that's a little project. Like I said, I wasn't planning to buy it, but then it came up and I thought, you know what, for the money it's not bad. I reckon I'd get my money back if I sold it. But also the opportunity to find something that kind of fits with my little tractor. I didn't want anything too big. So that's going to be, well, I don't know when I'll get around to it because I'm concentrating on the Stile at the moment. Right, let's get a couple of shovels. I'm going to go up. We're going up back up under the hill. Spades, bars, crowbar, digging, prying, all sorts. Let's get up there. Got myself a little pie as well. I've also got a very low battery on here, so I don't actually know whether we'll get much footage on here. So let me just tell you what I'm doing. Is the plan is, you saw me and the boys clear the site the other day. The plan is, what I'm going to do is, today I'm just going to dig a little bit of a trench, and the idea is I'm going to put some of the boulders that were up there in as sort of footings. It doesn't need to be that much because it's not a big high wall. It's not going to take loads of weight. So I'm not digging down flipping miles. I'm just going to bed them down in the ground. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to nip back tonight, mix a bucket of a barrel of cement up there, and I'm going to pour the cement around these boulders to sort of leave them in place. And the reason I'm doing it tonight is it's on a footpath, and I figured by the time I get up there in the evening there won't be many people, if any, using it at night. Whereas if I did it this morning, it's going to be wet cement all day, isn't it? Whereas it's got time to dry overnight. That's the plan anyway. Right, let's crack on. Right, we have arrived. I stopped on the way. I've picked up that. Look at this. This is an unusual thing. I'd never seen one of these. It's a big hook. I think it must have fallen out of someone's car or lorry or something. Look, it's one of those. This is quite ingenious, this bit here. so you can attach that to something and then it locks, so you can't, it won't open on its own. Look, I can't push that. I wonder what one of those is worth. It must have fallen off a lorry or something like that. DMM Wales scaffolders. Oh, scaffolding. There you go, right. If you're DMM scaffolding, I've got your bit. Right, so I'm just going to go and have a look. I am susceptible to the fact that I might not have a battery here that will last very long. In which case, what we'll do is I'll just film what I'm doing, and then I'll have to get on with what I'm doing. And when I go back and charge the batteries later, I'll come back, and when I do the evening work, I'll show you what I've done. Right. Of course, I got a bit of a dodgy back at the moment, which isn't great. Right. So, let me just put those down there. This is the Stile. This is, I'm seeing it more in daylight now. So effectively what I'm doing is those bits are going to stay there. They're going to, I think these are pretty good. I need some more mortar down here. I'll get the boys to clean that off. We'll build that up. If you look, I think it's set at an angle. It needs to go up over there. This bit here, I'm going to reconfigure this. That one there, look, it's just, that one there is actually really solid. This block of masonry is solid there. I might leave that and just cement that, because I think the angle, so there's going to be an angle, there's going to be an angle there going up from there. This is going to be the bit that people climb over. This bit here is the stabilising pillar. Now how far I go, don't think I need to go too far. Maybe to here. I'm going to dig this out. These bits here are going to be the foundation stones. These here, like, look at the size of that bad boy. And then we'll be keying into here. So some of this has got to be sorted out, but I want to get that dug out today. So yeah, so I've very limited battery life here, so I'm just going to showing you this now, and then I'll start digging and show you later what I've done if the battery runs out. All right. Oh, this is blooming warm work. Right, I've got just taken the top area out. Do you know what? I'm going to go up there with an angle. A couple of nice toppers on there, and I think a pillar there, and that's probably, and the pillar's going to go up that side. So I don't want to go too big that far, because I'm creating lots of extra work for myself. Whew. We're just going to do a nice tidy pillar on that side, I think. Long term, I think I'm going to have to sort this hedge out as well, but let's get this done at the moment. It's quite rocky here. I found the edge, I think I found the edge of the stile here. But look at this flipping root. Look, going right underneath. I'm not taking that lump out. Oh, I don't know. You know when you start something and you realise you've taken on more than you thought? This is it. I might end up taking some of that out. Certainly this one's got to go. That's not even, I think that's, yeah, something's got to go there. That's in pretty firm there. You see, how far do I go? All right, let's carry on. Let's carry on and have another look. See, I think the ideal world, actually, I'd take down the whole stile, take it down, start again, but I just really am not willing to do that. This is just a monumental slab. It's nice that it's still in the original position, but the thought of taking that out, that's just, oh, I couldn't even lift that on my own. We're starting talking about mechanics and stuff like that. It's just not going to happen. This is going to have to come out. I'm a bit worried about taking that out while it's still, until we've got any support. So we might have to see about building that bit up and doing this bit before we, I mean, that is really firm, but this side's got to have to be rebuilt on the ground there. So I might have to take some of that out. Right, crack on. I wish I was 25 again. I've got to stop for a rest every so often. Well, I haven't seen any walkers yet. It's quite early though. It was only about 10 AM, so a lot of people probably aren't going till they've had breakfast and come out. I'm filming this on Saturday, so you're allowed to lie in on Saturday, aren't you? Except me, who's been up since 5:30. Right, so my hole's getting bigger. I'm not quite sure how deep to go. So you kind of you might wonder why I'm bothering doing this, because it is totally it's not a pointless exercise, but it's an object of passion rather than practicality. I don't need to do this. People are already walking by this stone slab, and it was on a footpath. No one complained about it. If anything, they would put a kissing gate in rather than fix this. But I couldn't sit still and see this go in my lifetime, because at some point this slab's going to go. But there's a couple of reasons for doing it. Firstly, primarily it's in honour of my dad. I carry on the tradition of what he did down there when we did the other style. But also I wanted to do something with the boys. They'll be up with me on Saturday. If you want to come and see us, we're on Easter Saturday. We're here. Here's the what's with 3 words. So we're from about 10 till 4, I think, on Saturday, and possibly back on Easter Monday if I get the time. So definitely Saturday 10 till 4, and I'll be here doing this. Bring us an Easter egg, that'd be nice. No, you don't have to bring an Easter. Come and have a chat. If you're in the area and you're walking, you fancy a walk, it's a lovely walk from the village, come and say hello. Yeah, so obviously I said I wanted to honour it from my dad's legacy, carrying on from restoring that, but I wanted to do something as a sort of like a team exercise with me and the boys. Harry hangs out with me a lot on the farm, but Jack's got his own sort of ideas of what he wants to do, and he spends more time going to see his mates than coming on the farm. He's still around, but he's a teenager, he's a growing lad, and I can see where his future lies. He's going to go far and wide. He wants to venture off the farm, whereas Harry I think would happily stay in Titherington for the rest of his life. So I kind of think I'm grabbing the moment while Jack's still here, and maybe he won't be in a few years' time. Maybe he'll be in Australia or something like that, I don't know. There's a crow or someone screaming. Can you hear that? Something making a noise. I'm not sure that's wild animal or child. It might be wild animal actually. But yeah, so I wanted to sort of finish this before he's not around. But also, you kind of feel like you're leaving a little bit of a legacy behind. Like the bloke who wrote 1939 on that other style. He's gone, and my dad's gone now. 2011 we wrote on there. He's gone. I won't be here forever, and hopefully this style will be here long after I've gone. But it's an interesting thing. The changes I've seen in farming in my lifetime. The main thing is the mechanisation was probably already there before. It wasn't like I saw horses to tractors. That was a massive change. What I've seen is the farms getting bigger with less and less people on them. That's the most obvious thing, I think, in my time. The machinery's got bigger, but the staffing levels have got less, and there's less people on farm. And this relates to this style, because I think what you find now is that things like hedge laying and the building a stone style or doing stuff like that, they're kind of disappearing a little bit, because there's not so many people around to do it, and farms have become much more mechanised. 100 years ago there'd been a lot more staff around on the farms, and in the winter time their job was to do the hedge laying and maybe maintaining a wall like this, and those people have gone, and I think we're kind of losing a little bit of something in the countryside, which is a shame. It can't change progress, but this reality. I mean, if I look down there's a hedge that desperately wants laying. And no disrespect to the landowner, I'm sure he hasn't got the time and the staff to do that, but you can see there, and even on our own farm. So I did a lot of hedge laying in the 1980s and the early 90s when my dad was still alive, and now I just don't have the time. And this style, I'm doing this entirely in my own off time. Actually, it's on my days off, so because I just don't seem to have the time in the actual farming time. So on Easter weekend we're here. Should be away somewhere, really. The ideal world would be on holiday, but that ain't gonna happen. We're gonna be doing this, but that's actually okay, because I enjoy this. The satisfaction when this is done is the main thing. So, right, I'm not sure how much deeper I'm gonna go there. You can go to Australia, but really a pad there with these stones I think will probably nearly do it. So I'm not going to go that much deeper. I don't think I'm going to take this out because I'm going to have to take that one out, clean it out. I said let's see how I get on with this first, and then phone's going. Cool, that's from Harry from Tyre Right. I had a flat tyre on the 135 this morning. Here's a picture of it. There's a little bit of video. Flat tyre, first thing in the morning. That was flipping 6 o'clock in the morning I found that flat. What can you do? Anyway, he's come to fix it, but I'm fixing this, so I can't go back and help him. He doesn't really need a hand anyway. Right, let me just crack on with this a bit. Alright, this hole's getting bigger than I thought it would be. So I've gone right to the edge there, look. So that stone I was going to concrete up to, that little one, well it's not that little, I was going to concrete to the edge there thinking that was a bit of foundations, and that flipping just fall out in the hole. So realistically I concluded there is no foundations at all on this. Let me just show you the slab. It's literally just resting on soil. Look at that. There's nothing holding that. It's not, I thought it'd be bedded in on some concrete. So it's literally just pushed in the ground. They built up either side. I suppose the thing is, if as long as the slab was solid in the ground, you just build the bits up on the side. But the thing is, I've got to be super careful now. I think this bit's going to have to go. That moved earlier, but I'd really, you've got to be really careful. I think, to be fair, that wall there will probably hold it. Maybe I'm overthinking this. Let me get this in. I'm gonna sort this side out, and then I think that bit's got to go. And then what I'll do is, when I'm rebuilding this, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stone up to a certain level, and then, well, I'll stone up to a certain level, pull out that side, and get those back in a bit quick. That's got to go. So we're going to go like follow the original wall. I'm going to keep some of that. Follow that. That's got to go. That one might stay. These have got to go. They've sunk anyway. I'm not going to touch that side. Let's not play devil's advocate. Let's get one thing done at a time. So what we need to do, I think, is get some sort of stability on here with that built up there. Just solid in. Tidy that up. Follow that down. Start building across here. There'll be some infill in the middle. The wall can go to about there, I think. That's far enough. And then, when I start building around this side, I'm going to yank that big stone out there. That's obviously on a kilt, on a wonk or whatever, and tidy that up there, and then start building across there. This might not be how you do it. It's how I'm going to do it. I realise I'm, doing this on my own. I'm going to get some stick from professionals, but let's hope that everyone goes with me on this. It's only an amateur trying to do a decent job. If these guys manage to make that slab there stay there flipping 100+ years on no foundations, then whatever I'm doing is going to be all right. But you can see why it went down. Look at the roots everywhere. Probably from that big old ash tree there. This one here, look, just snapping them off, going right underneath the slab there. And there was one going on in there, that's why this is pulled out of there, I think. My biggest fear is this bloody ash tree, because if that dies and goes down on the stile after I finished it, that's wasted all my time. Anyway, right, I ain't going to do that much more here now, because I'm going to leave most of this till tonight, and that's going to be a big job in itself. I've got a bag of cement in here, a bag of sand. That's probably not enough sand. I'm going to have to put a load in the loader bucket. Bring it up here, get some stones down in there, get up to ground level with stones and some cement around it, a good pad, and then we can tie it in with this, and hopefully if it binds in with that, it won't go. I think it is definitely the roots that have caused this, and that's going to be the issue going forward on this project again. The roots are probably going to have a go at, you know, but flipping it, that's why they go down about 3.5 metre or metre and a half on house foundations. But I haven't got the luxury of doing that. I'm seriously not going to dig down for a stone stile in the country. I'm not going to dig down 1.5 metres. This is far better than what they did 100 years ago. Right, a little bit more work, and then I think that's all I can really do until I've addressed all the situations. Tidy up time, put your toys away. Right, I'm packing up now. That's the hole. That's a big hole. That's my gloves. There's a hole. Right, I'm out of here. We'll be back tonight with some concrete and some wheelbarrow cement mixing. Crack on. Right, I'm back again. Done the milking. It's about 5:30 at night. I'm just loading up the tractor really. I'm going to take up enough stuff to make a mix of cement to put in that base. I've got some gravel, some sand, water, another bag of sculpting. Harry's in there just doing the calves. You alright there, Hazza?
Yeah.
Are they alright? Good man. Right. So the idea is I'm going to make a rough mix up in the wheelbarrow. I think I'll put some cement down on the bottom of that hole I've dug. Then I'm going to bang those big stones in and then pour the rest of the cement around it and just leave it to set overnight. I mean, my theory is if I do it then, it's the best time for people. I was taking some muck out on that maize field this afternoon. I saw someone walking across there. I hope they haven't tripped down a hole. They'll sue me for a broken leg, won't they? Right, let's get going. We'll get back up that field and have a look how it's going. Well, here I am driving across Alan Bennett's field again to get to the top end of the stile. I don't think I've got many opportunities to get across this way because I did chat to him and he said he'd probably plough this one last, but I've noticed he started ploughing on one of his fields over there. So I need to sort of get stuff up here while I can. The only thing is, so if you know, I've put in there, I've got sand, cement, water, wheelbarrow, shovel, all sorts in there. The only thing is, I don't want to leave this stuff up here overnight because it'd probably disappear if I left it. I might leave the water containers, I like to nick stuff like that, but you know, I'm certainly leaving no tools here. So it's a bit of a drag, so I've got to bring it back. If it was in my own field, I'd probably just stash it all in a corner somewhere. You're asking for trouble leaving stuff on the public footpath, aren't you? I'm very grateful I haven't got a public footpath through the farmyard because that would be a nightmare. Couldn't leave anything lying around. Yeah, so not going to spend ages up here tonight. I'm just getting that hole sorted. I might tinker around this week doing bits, but the main build time will be on Saturday and the Monday. Oh, it's a nice evening now. The bluebells are looking lush. I mean, you can just see through there the haze. Right, let's get up. Right, let's go and find if anyone's in the hole. Oh, do you think there's anyone falling down the hole? Some more building stone there I could use. Find a couple of walkers that have actually trapped themselves in the hole. They have to be quite small, mine. Right. Okie dokie. That's definitely got to come out, hasn't it? Not today though. Right. I might just tidy that hole up and then I'm going to just chuck some cement in and then these boulders are going down in there. Okay. Right, let's get some cement in the job. I'm just making up a bit of a rough mix here. Sand, cement, bit of sculpins. Right, I just realised I've mixed that up. It's going to be pretty heavy. I've got to push it uphill. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the water container up there and mix the water in up there because That actually might be better than me trying to add water to that and adding to the weight of it. Whew. That's heavy enough. Realised, not sure they've got enough water with me. Might be a problem. Might not be a problem. Can't really go and get, well, I can go and get some more water, but I don't really want to do that. Right, let's just crack on. I got a rough mix up, so I'm going to chuck that in the hole, and then I'm going to posage the stones around on it, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another rough mix, and I'm going to plaster around it in the hole. Just nip it in the bud. If anyone wants to say some negativity on this about how I'm doing it, you're welcome to, but it's not going to change how it's done. I figure that, bearing in mind there's no foundations on this thing at all, what I'm putting in is probably 10 times better than what was there 100 years ago. So, you know, it's not ideal. I am not taking that down, as I said before, which is probably the best option. But I am a little man on his own in a field on a Saturday night, giving up my weekend to do this. And I'm not being paid for it. So, yeah, if you want to jog on, if you want to do some negativity on this. Well, I know all the people who follow me, they are very positive, actually. I'm very lucky. The guys, all of you who do leave comments and do stuff with me and everything, you're decent people, and you know what the struggles are of a little man. Right, let's crack on. I'm going to tip that in and we'll see how we go. Oh, I can hardly shift it. Ugh. Sand in the bottom of there that hadn't mixed in very well. Mixing in the hole. I'm gonna need some more. Second batch done. This one's a bit wet, I think. Put too much water in it, really. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to just slosh it all around there. Then I'm going to get stones on, and then I've got to slop it around the base. Let me just have a look. I'm going to get a photograph. No, I love this. I got fingerprint recognition on my phone, but it won't recognise it because of my fingers are covered in cement. So that thumb there now no longer works my phone. Brilliant, just as well I got a touchy thing as well. You know, because otherwise if you were going like that, swiping, you wouldn't get it working, would you? Right, what am I talking about? Right, got some cement down now. I'm just going to position some stones in there. Put that bit round it. I've only got one more bag of cement left, which is really sand left, which is really annoying. God, I'm be glad when I'm up here with the cement mixer, because it takes a lot more. That's 2 wheelbarrows of cement. It hardly goes anywhere. So I'm just going to position some stones down there. God, I hope don't bring me back in doing this. I'll never find one to put in there. That one came out of there, but I'm a bit low. It's all covered in dirt. Right, let's worry about this in a minute. Right, I've got a couple of stones, big whoppers. I love a whopper. Right, got a couple of whoppers there. I'm gonna have to stand in the cement, aren't I? They're gonna have to go in. The trouble is, I really need someone else to help me on this. This is where you need your kids, but they've buggered off. Right. Oh. Oh. Right, so I've run out. I've got one bag of sand left. I'm going to try and fill in at least around that stone and back. I haven't got enough cement. I'm really annoyed. I haven't got enough sand with me to do another mix. Oh, that is annoying. I know what I'm doing tomorrow night. I'm back up here again. doing another mix to try and get that level. I've just got to get that to a level point where I feel I can build up with a kind of bit of a wall. I mean, it's ugly at the moment because it's foundations, but that doesn't matter. But it's just annoying. I mean, I'll tell you what, this ain't going anywhere once I've cemented it. These blocks, they'll all tie in once I start building up. Yeah, so really what I'm trying to do is prep a site ready for Saturday so I can actually start building a wall. So I can see myself this week, my evenings, if it stays dry, is to come up and I might dig that bit out there. Right, I'm going to put one more lot of sand with what I've got, and then we'll finish up. All right. Saturday night ain't what it used to be. Flipping heck, this is annoying. As I said to you, I've run out of sand up here. I haven't got anything else to add, and I've added a bit too much water, so I've got a very wet mix now. The mix is all right, but look, that's flipping too wet. I got a bit of, I can put a bit of more cement in it, dry it out a bit, but that's a bit of a waste really. Doesn't need any more cement. Well, I'm going to chuck well, I will have to chuck a bit more cement in. That's just the only option. This is the problem with doing stuff so far away from home. It's a bit bare, but it's not critical though, because I mean, if I was using this to build, there it is. If I was using that to build with, it'd be useless. Too wet, it'd be all running out of joints and everything. But as I'm using it to fill in the gaps and plug stones in, I think I've done that, and it'll dry overnight. Right, so I'm just going to carry on. What I'll do is I'll just chuck some in the joints, and I'll show you at the end, before and after. Right, there we have it. I'll have a look at that in a minute. I'm just scraping up the last remnants of the cement I've got. You know what it's like, waste not, want not. I might get a full trowel's worth out of here by the time I scrape this off. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, well, do you know what? Actually, that cement being a bit too wet was to my advantage, really, because it actually goes into the crevices and holes a lot better. I've just placed some stones there, roughly. The line of the edge of the wall is going to be to there, and then across there to here. I should have gone out, I've messed up a bit, I should have gone out more like that with that side. So I might be a bit narrow on this side, but that's okay. The main thing is I've got it all joined together in one drying mass. It'll all be all right. It's a country wall. We haven't got to get this like a housing estate, but I've got to convince myself that sometimes when I'm doing jobs like this. But I've got it now. I think it's got it good enough. Right. So I've got a hole filled in. Not as level as I would have liked because I've cocked that up. I'm going to try and build that up a little bit before I take this out. That block there has got to come out. That's got to come out. We've got to get some sort of stability here. And like I said, I think, well, the next option would be to take this out, I think, and build to there. Build to there, and then go around the corner, and then worry about this. Because I am worried about the stability of the stone, but I've got footings in that will see me out, see the stile out. Right, anyway, right, it's Saturday night, I need to head home. Disappointingly, I've not planned this as usual. I've got rubbish beer. I've got some crappy French lager that someone left at our house. It's been sat in the cupboard for flipping God knows how long. That's the only beer I got in the house. How bad is that for a Saturday night? It's those little French bottles, I just don't like them. I got about 8 of them. I'll just stick some lemonade with it, make a lager shandy. What a rubbish treat for a Saturday night. I didn't plan this well at all. Right, I've got to get home. I've got to pack up all this, and then I've got to wash out all before it dries. So, you know what I'm going to say. Crack on. Come and see us if you can on the Saturday, Easter Saturday. It would be nice to see anyone if walking by and just give us a bit of moral support. because it is a bit isolated. It's lovely up here, the birds are singing and bluebells are up in the woods and stuff, but it is a little bit like you're on your own doing this stuff on your own, and sometimes it's nice to chat, isn't it? Right, anyway, crack on everyone. It's like picking a spot. I couldn't help myself. I pulled that step away. Look what was left of that. I pulled that one off. That was just resting there. Put that back up there. That's all. This is all solid, but I pulled that up. There's no flipping foundations under there at all. I think it's just on dirt. I figured that's okay actually, but I'm not touching that because it's. Oh, should have done that first. Should have taken that step out before I did this. Could have done it all in one. Never mind. Too late. I've done that, so that's got to come out now. That might be tomorrow night. Take that out. Get some solid cement under there. Proper job. And then maybe, well, I'll have to break that block up because that's got to go back in there, those stones. Look at that, flipping more roots, look. And I think there's a big root there, look. Look at that. No wonder the thing fell apart. Right. Okay. I am going home now. I am going home, honest. I am.